Hola and welcome to episode number 3 of The Shit Show. Today we are going to talk free tuition and our supreme leader, Kathleen Wynne. I've sat on both sides of this issue over the years, and I've listened to young people complain about the cost of tuition and so forth, and I've certainly been known to say, suck it up, buttercup. But, when I delve a little deeper into this, I do realize that, just since 2003, so under our Liberal Party's watch, tuition has been allowed to double in a mere 13 years. That's pretty extreme. I guess this was a really good time to come out with a kind of a package such as this. But as with all things with the Liberal Party of Ontario, you really need to look underneath the surface, because I don't think there have ever been more crafty wordsmiths or strategic planners working in government than work for the Ontario Liberals. And they make everything sound so good, such a great idea. How can anybody not like this idea? And the idea of free tuition for families making less than $50,000 sounds entirely laudable on the surface. When you look beyond the nice talking points, let's say, the first thing that comes to light is that it's hardly free. $50,000 as a baseline, I think, is very low. I think they need to raise that somewhat. I also think that they need to realize that there are people who make very high incomes whose children either are not getting any of their money to go to school, or they are so far in debt or going through divorces or whatever the case may be, they just don't have money to give to these children either. And I really think if we can have a no kid left behind policy for grade school, I think we should have a no kid left behind situation for university education as well. The other thing that comes up with respects to it being free is that for people making $50,000, they still have to cough up $3,000 a year to access these funds. Think of that. That's $3,000 out of your less than $50,000 income to pay for getting this free money. That needs to change. That's a mess up. I will say that the Liberals were really good in 2013, and they instituted a policy that wouldn't allow universities to raise their tuition by whatever they wanted. I think it was tagged at 2 or 3%. So that's a completely great policy that they initiated, but it ends in 2017. So in 2017, universities are going to be able to raise their they're not going to be able to be controlled as to where they raise their tuition rates by. Want to hazard a guess what year this new funding program starts in? You guessed it, 2017. So, I mean, if these are going to go up by an exorbitant amount, how is this helping anybody? There have been many politicians in the Liberal Party who have called for allowing universities to raise their rates to whatever they can, but then to turn around and offset it by packages, grants, bursaries, benefits, all these different things. I don't see how that makes any sense. That just puts everybody into further debt. The other thing to keep in mind with all of this, in the same time that we've had the restrictions on the increases to the tuition rates, we've also had an increase in the amount that you can borrow for your education go from $7,000 to $10,000. That's crazy. So what you're saying is the average undergraduate degree is literally going to give the average student $40,000 in basic debt. I mean, that's without anything else on top of it. That's just your tuition is going to cost you $40,000. We've gone from 28 to 40 in 4 years. The funding formulas and how they're doing this is really doesn't make any sense. And then to come back to this, we're tagging all of these your access to the money. So based on $50,000, that person is going to qualify for the most amount of money, and then it'll be graded from there on some sliding scale that's based off of student outcomes. I don't believe there's a more nebulous concept than student outcomes to base your funding formulas on. this really, like, this is just another example of the crafty wordsmith that goes on with everything with the Liberal Party. We're going to call it free. We're going to splash my face all over the place. I'm going to shake a lot of hands. I'm going to look like Orville Redenbacher the whole way through with a big old smile on my face. And at the same time, all we've really done is just shifted more debt onto the students. We need a better idea now. And for this reason, Kathleen Wynne, who I'm sure will continue to be throughout the year our douchebag of the day, this is day number 1 for you, Kathleen. Let's see how many of these days you rack up this year. See you later. That's a shit show for today. I think next time we're going to talk about those 9 plus 2 suspended police officers and this whole phantom ticket thing. We'll see where my research takes me on that. Cheers!